Hello everyone, my name is Chris Jameson. This presentation is going to be on something new and exciting for me, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. It's going to be on Amazon's Alexa being introduced into vehicles and the impact that it's going to make in the driving industry. Let's start by asking what or who is Alexa. Alexa is an Amazon-created product that has been created to help provide information or simplify tasks in our everyday lives. It uses vocal interactions to communicate with both delivering and receiving messages. Alexa is considered smart technology, which is essentially the application of adaptive or modified behaviors to fit the environment. It learns and builds from us what we say and what we do to help anticipate the next moves. Some smart technology has live sensors to read its surroundings of the environment to further develop its information. Smart technology can provide information about the weather, the traffic reports, change music, organize a schedule, or build a grocery list, as some of our common uses. It can also communicate with other smart technology devices and be more hands-free or wires-free. Smart technology is becoming increasingly more popular in our lives over the last few years. Probably the most common smart device is our phones. To put in perspective how prominent smart technology is becoming, nearly 77% of Americans own a smartphone between the ages of 18 and 60 as of 2017 data. So now that we know some information about what Alexa is, the next question is, who should be using Alexa? As I previously mentioned, 77% of smartphone users are between the ages of 18 and 60. While this isn't a strict age group, it does fit the most common users for the age that could use Alexa. This is what Generation X reaches out to, which is 60 years of age and younger, up to the millennials. I also mentioned other smart devices can communicate together. Some examples of this are using your smartphone to maybe turn on household appliances or your thermostat. You could also open your garage door with the smartphone and smart garage. Or maybe you could even start your car remotely. Which brings me to what I really want to talk about. Vehicles that can use Alexa. Vehicle makers have already begun using smart technology to help enhance driving, which we have seen with parking assistance as probably the most recognized development. Fiat, Chrysler, Ford, Honda, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Nissan have all already contracted with Amazon's Alexa. Soon to come in 2018, we have Toyota and Lexus. Some of the uses that Alexa can offer are the assisted parking, maybe some music control, traffic report or alternative routes, navigational systems, or entertaining children. You might ask, why have a device if I can already do this on my own? Well, yes, you can, but it takes your eyes and hands away from what you need to be doing, and you become distracted, and you have delayed reaction times, which can prevent that you might need to use to prevent an accident. Alexa is offering these as a task, hands-free, spoken out loud, which keeps your hands on the wheel and eyes on the road. Essentially, Alexa is offering much safer driving. This technology offers so much potential to the vehicle industry. The common person can admit to missing an oil change or putting off low fluids that need refilling, which includes gas. Vehicles already have light indicators to help us with these kinds of things, or tire pressure or brake pad indicators. But what if Alexa were to add these to her vocal speakings for maintenance items that needed attention? And adding into this, what if she could find a shop and schedule an appointment, or a local store that carries these items that you need as a do-it-yourselfer on the way home? Seems like it'd be a lot more convenient to be able to have that kind of reminder rather than saying in the back of your mind, yes, I know I need to do this, I will put it off until I have time. Most vehicles now have navigation systems in them, and for the ones that don't, we have our phones. Alexa probably won't offer too much more in this, with the exception of maybe being able to provide more real-time reports. Something for the navigational that we will get from Alexa is the sensors that they are using to help navigate the road. This means other vehicles being too close, so Alexa knows to slow the speed of the car down, or it senses a pothole ahead and knows how to maneuver out of its path. This isn't an autopilot, but has some aspects to it. It's really there for more of a bonus to the safety of unseen things we encounter when we drive. Like I mentioned before, the largest benefit does lie in the reduction of distractions and the safety of being on the road being boasted. Data reports show us in 2015 that nearly 3,500 people were killed and almost 400,000 happened for accidents on distracted drivers. Now, keep in mind, this is only from America, and these are only admitted confessions of being distracted while driving at the road. So, we can almost certainly say that there is plenty more data to be said, we just aren't able to fully prove that. I touched on the sensors and what offerings we have from these in vehicles. This image provides us with a pretty good scope of what capabilities are offered with distance and angles. This part of the technology is called ADAS, or Advanced Driver's Assistance System. The system sends some kind of notification to us that alerts of potential danger. The pothole example might be a really nice warning to help keep the vehicle from extra wear and tear. You have probably seen commercials where a driver is trying to merge lanes and there's a beep, and that beep is from a blind spot when they try to merge lanes. The ADS is warning them of the potential danger. We've also seen backup cameras become more increasingly popular in bumpers to help us back up and also sense how close we are to an object. All of these little pieces to the ADAS are going to help prevent more accidents. Even if we have hands on the wheel and eyes on the road, things can still happen. How awesome would it be to know that Alexa could sense a vehicle not slowing down or stopping at a red light as you begin to move when your light turns green? You were doing everything you were supposed to and that you normally should be and taught, and sometimes you just can't prevent the accident. I'm not claiming that Alexa is going to be fail-proof, but having almost an extra set of eyes on the road can just help us reduce our hazards. This technology is also future-proof. It is seriously increasing in popularity all across the board and can only improve as it gets older. Yes, vehicles might see a slight spike in price, but with this technology, but it takes a lot of risks out of the equation, whether it be damage from accidents or wear and tear because you were not regular with maintenance. You still get your money's worth. $432 billion of property damage was reported in 2016 from auto accidents. Even if Alexa proves to make only a 10% reduction in these accidents, that's still $443.2 million a year in the industry that can help save us on rates of auto repair and rates of insurance. Most vehicle makers find themselves worldwide, at least with the list of contracted vehicle makers that is with Amazon. Alexa can be introduced to nearly any country that wants to bring on this new technology. So, where is not actually much of a question as to who or where it needs to be. North America certainly benefits heavily, and so does Europe. And among these, they are the most advanced regions when it comes to the auto industry. But what about some of the countries that aren't as advanced as these two regions? Alexa can be brought into China, Russia, and India, which have also high rates of accidents and death results from accidents. What's interesting about these three countries is a majority of them are not from distracted drivers, but from a lack of or misunderstanding of the laws of the road. There might be some governmental reviews that need to be done to help improve this, but we can circle back to the ability that Alexa offers with adapting and sensing its surroundings. There are just some things where there are no direction or guidance for drivers and the accident rate is going to be high. But if we look at what Alexa is introducing, the ability to sense the awareness can help improve the driving experience overall. Even just the ability to signal a warning in the presence of danger might help reduce these risks. The other factor that comes into play with these three countries are the revenue and the average household of income. We know that the prices are going to rise, but we don't know exactly how much. These countries, or some of the BRIC countries, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, have been developing significantly over the last few decades, but still struggle in this department with household income. These countries are more so for outsourcing businesses that have boosted the economy, but the income is still relatively low when we look at it compared to the Americas or European countries. If the prices can be kept at a minimal, then there will be some significant impacts offered to these three countries. There's still a lot of room for Amazon to offer here for these markets, but it's a little bit more narrow than what we can see in North America or Europe. The plan for Amazon's marketing is pretty linear, but it's more than just them doing the work. Because Alexa is owned by Amazon, the initial work should be owned by them, however. TV commercials have been proven to be the go-to for car advertisements over the years, and this trend should continue. But Amazon is also known for their online sales and need to solicit here. The TV commercials and advertisements could be used in the same matter and even the same clips both online or through TV. We also know that roughly 2.5 vehicles are owned per average household. With all of the carriers listed and contracted through Alexa technology, it leaves us with about half of the major makers capable of using Alexa in their vehicles. Many of these makers have already announced that they will be using about half of Alexa's technology in their inventory starting in 2018. So this leaves Alexa in about 25% of the new cars being made. This is where the makers become critical to advertising what Alexa offers. They will be the secondary marketer, and in the mission for Amazon to release this, they need to have contractual agreements that ensure Amazon's name is represented in these new cars. This could be as simple as a logo or the iconic Alexa voice or image. Alexa is going to offer exciting new things to drivers that allow safer roads and manageable multitasking. What could be tricky is defining the line of what proper usage is compared to that of Alexa being additional distractions. Amazon and the car makers will need to encourage safety values offered with Alexa. We have already seen this in our current ads by makers and showing accidents being avoided and hands-free navigation or phone answering. This needs to be further displayed with what I previously mentioned, such as a parent using Alexa to entertain her children, which could simply just be communicating or talking, or maybe even playing a video if the vehicle has monitors. Other key features that need to be highlighted are the ability to pick up on the environment and saying, your fuel tank is low. There's a gas station a few miles away. Would you like me to provide you a route? What is also important is to deliver the differences of what distracted driving is and what Alexa is. Distracted driving is texting or using other forms of social media to take your hands and eyes away from what is important. Alexa could be considered a distraction to some, but Amazon and car makers only want this technology to be used for aid, not an alternative to be distracted. Disclosures and advertisements will be important to cover legal liability, but the advertisement needs to truly distinguish the differences between what actual distracted driving is and what Alexa is intended to be doing. Amazon's goal is certainly to be the difference maker in safety and create a new established foundation for vehicle makers. Like I mentioned before, a good goal for the first year being released is about 25% of new car sales. When considering half of the vehicles from half of the major makers, it really isn't that much of a stretch. This is only 1 in every 4 cars being sold off the lot being new, and Cars.com explains many different features that benefit new car sales versus used ones. The advancements over the last couple of decades have done so much more than introduce just technology, but now the technology is becoming the most recognized feature in vehicles these current days. Sales are great and mean a lot to the business, but I think the real value comes from what Alexa will be doing to driving. It's obvious that the new smart technology features add value to a vehicle and certainly provide additional eyes to the road and help us react to situations. Accidents will always happen because they're accidents. But when we can take the risks involved that create an accident and greatly reduce them, we'll just naturally see less of them over time. Less really means more with Alexa because less accidents means less consumer costs on the back end of purchasing vehicles. It also means there's less worries about car expenses, less fatalities, and less worries about a parent when their kid has to drive alone. Amazon has an opportunity to also educate drivers. Educating these drivers will create accidents and be aware of what distractions lead to. Even consumers that are not driving Alexa-enabled vehicles can still learn and benefit from the offers that smart technology has. These educational systems can be teaching drivers to learn about the ways to avoid hazardous actions and maybe eventually convert them into Alexa-enabled vehicles. Thank you all for listening. I hope you get a little bit excited about this because I know I did. I'm convinced that the next vehicle purchase that me or my wife makes is going to have Alexa in it. I think it's pretty obvious that the benefits that offered here are just tremendous. I'm going to feel safer on the road knowing that I have this in my car, and I think I would feel a lot safer knowing that others do too. Thank you.